optimized for speed, customer experience, and coverage. And really what excites me about what I've heard today from Telkom is that the agility that they're looking, that's the platform on which they are looking to launch, their T-kash 2.0. And the fact that, this new product, a mobile money product that really looks natively like a fintech product, is something that's very familiar to us, and we're excited to partner and integrate into that. What else excites me is this massive investment in coverage that will really start to bring this infrastructure that Telkom sits on par with everyone else in the market, and that's something else we're looking to leverage on. Lastly, is this openness to partner, right? And the fact that the platform they've built has been built with partnerships in mind is something else that excites me, because we have a common segment of users that we're targeting, and a lot of ideas around how we can better serve them is really what excites me about the conversation I've had today.
We have a monopolistic situation here, and I think that's a significant problem for the market and for customers. I am very glad to see Telkom coming out with a product that looks stable, user-friendly, usable, and that creates options and opportunities for customers, for SMEs, for big businesses, for everybody else to interact. And that is exciting for me. I think it is a big leap forward. So I'm very happy to see Telkom coming out with a good product. I've looked at what the user experience is here, and I'm very excited about that too. We look at innovation, and sometimes we look at what's out there and we can't see new avenues for innovation. But I'm happy to see little interesting things, like we don't need to see the pay bill number anymore. I can just select my bank when I'm sending money to my bank, and I forget about the pay bill number. If I'm making a payment to a merchant, I forget about that. I just make the payment, and those little things become very interesting because people remember names. People don't really remember numbers. And that is an exciting, very, very small change on the user experience. But those things have big significance. I'm glad to see that those things have been thought about and they've been put into the system. I'm glad to see interesting features like universal till number. It's something we've been talking about for a long time, and nobody has really done anything about it. And so I'm glad that it's not just a replica of what's in the market. I'm glad that user experience has been thought about. I'm glad that new features have been thought about. The last thing that I'm really, really excited about is that it's becoming a collaborative discussion with industry players, and not, the big banks. You're not talking to Equity or you're talking to Standard Chartered or whoever. You're talking to, actual people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis. The developers, the SMEs, the aggregators, the partners. And I feel like that allows us to progress together in a real way, not the normal, corporate story, which is we are working together with our partners, but in real sense, you don't have any discussions with your partners, and there's always the fear of stealing ideas from your partners. But this, to me, today's engagement feels like a real collaboration, like a real effort to partner, and that's an exciting thing to me. So it's not necessarily that, we're going to see, business ideas so much come together, but for me, seeing a difference in how we're going about mobile money and mobile payments, and that we can be a part of the journey of changing the landscape. And I think that in itself is exciting. Hopefully there'll be business opportunities along with that, but for me, even just the idea of changing the landscape is exciting enough. And I'm so happy to be part of that and involved in that. So I think today is a great start. I'd like to see, hopefully beyond words, real action, real features, real deployment, actual movement. But I think it's a great first step, and I'm very happy to have been here.
I think today's session was very, very nice. And I think for me, the takeaway from today's session was that we are moving away from the straitjacket kind of approach, whereby you are offered solutions, and then It's like, see how you fit into this, see how you can use this kind of solutions. I think the approach that T-kash is taking of involving the end users and also innovators and also the other stakeholders is very primary, because then we are able to bring our issues to the table and then they're integrated in the solutions. And I believe that also there'll also be an opportunity for us to interact and keep tweaking and fashioning the product and the service to suit our needs. Because as you very well know, the bottom of the pyramid is very dynamic. You know, things keep changing and there's a lot of demand and you know, the expectations are usually very high. But then again, once guys are involved in that, it becomes easier to adopt to the solutions and to be able to use it. Again, on the side of communication, I think we would be happy to continue this conversation with both the vendors and also the consumers to see how they would want the product to look like and also to be involved in the development.
I think for a vertical like public transport, you need to look at the entire ecosystem and then go to what we call first principles thinking. Many times we think that it's a payment challenge, but it's not. You see, your operator is fine collecting cash. The consumer is also fine paying cash. Why? Because it's legal tender. And things like speed and things like access to that sort of liquidity are important. So let's take each of these segments separately. So the customer says, if I pay you 100 shillings in cash, you don't know my name, there's been an exchange of value and expect services in exchange, right? Transaction done, super fast, almost anonymous from the fact that I know your face, I know you're a regular on this route, but beyond that, we're good. When you bring in the issue of payments in terms of digitizing them, one, there's a speed. I mean, I wish we could do it now. You know, let me get on an app or USSD versus giving you cash. You can't beat cash in terms of almost zero speed in terms of that transaction, happening. Next, we come to the data privacy elements. I mean, it is either yourself or your wife, your sister, and we know that the public transport sector has not been known for behaving well, especially when it comes to the female gender. So you could imagine, with cash, you don't know my name, and that's fine, but with digital payments, hey, you can now see my name, you can now have probably my phone number. So those are some of the things that we need to look at addressing whenever you're looking at any sort of intervention. For the operators themselves, they're already used to an ecosystem of operating in cash. Why? Because they've got things that must be settled daily. Your kange, your drivers are all on daily settlement, right? If you bring in any system that says T plus 2 days, T plus 1 week, we'll settle you at the end of the month. Now you're starting to rub people the wrong way. Solutions, I keep saying, must work like magic. They must embed themselves in whatever environment or whatever sector you're looking at, and kind of like bring that improvement almost invisibly. You know, you're looking in like, you know, there's something different about how this service is running. I'm getting better quality service. For the operators, they're getting settled in real time to their banks, able to now do payments directly to their suppliers. For example, fuel. Fuel is a daily expense. If I collect 10 million shillings in my till, I need to be able to go to my fuel supplier, whether that's an independent or one of the big boys, and say, let me make my payment directly. If you give me T plus a few days, then you've broken my model. So any intervention that we look at must address some of these pain points. Otherwise, people look at it as rent seeking. Like, I mean, you want to take 1.5, 2, 3, 4% of what I'm collecting. What true value are you bringing? I've got no problem collecting cash. Oh, there's cash handling risks. I'm like, it's fine. I can put bouncers at my stages and hand that issue. So let's look at it from first principles thinking, and then how to embed it in a way that adds true value to each and every part of that value chain.